My name is Vitor. I come from Portugal. I've been living in Bulgaria for almost 3 years now. And do I speak Bulgarian? No. This is the only thing I know. It's that yes and no are a big mess. Actually, the first time I had the contact with this was when I went to Plovdiv. I asked for the toilet in a cafeteria, and the guy said, and I was like, you don't have a toilet in a cafeteria? Yeah, upstairs. And I was a bit confused. Okay, so my first experience here was around 4 years ago. I came for a 3-week micro Erasmus in the middle of the mountains, yeah. And I was the only Portuguese. So it was very interesting for me because from Western Europe, it was only me and a Spanish guy. And I think one French, but he was only halfway there. And I met a lot of people from Armenia, from Azerbaijan, from Turkey, from Georgia, from Bulgaria, obviously, right? And it was interesting for me because it was something I was not expecting, yeah? But the first time I arrived here, I arrived in the Terminal 1 of the airport, and I don't know if you have had this experience of being in the Terminal 1 of the airport. And I thought it was like a bus station, yeah? And I don't know, somebody was supposed to pick me up with a van in the Terminal 2. And I had no idea how to get to the Terminal 1. And I asked. And nobody spoke English. Okay. And I started walking to the Terminal 2. And the only thing I saw, walking, yes, I walked. I walked. And the only thing I saw were dogs, stray dogs. And they are not small, yeah? So this was my first experience in Bulgaria. It was cool, yeah. The dogs didn't bite me because I ran faster than them. Because, you know, they are stray, they are kind of starving, unfortunately, yeah. But fortunately for me, back then. Then after that, I went away back to Portugal. I was there 1 more year, but I felt amazed with the difference here, yeah. For me, Bulgaria, I don't know, how many Bulgarians are here? Bulgaria is amazing, guys. It's the best country in the world, yeah. So, about Bulgaria, just like any other country, there are the goods and the bads, yeah? So, but I was amazed with the goods and with the bads, with all the things. So I decided to give it a try and try again. I found a job here. It didn't go so well, but I decided to give it a second try. I found another job. And then winter came. You know, I'm Portuguese, yeah? I'm Portuguese. And it was not this winter. This is not a winter. The first winter I had in my life was 2 years ago in Bulgaria for the first time. I don't know if anybody remembers it. Yes, it was -20 for 1 month. With I don't know how many centimeters of snow, and I got depressed. But I realized something. Bulgaria never stops. It doesn't matter how much it snows. It doesn't stop. You cannot just go to work and say, I'm sorry, there was no buses. No. You come and you work. That's how it works. And that's it. After that, things started going well. And I was promoted in my job. Thank you. This was 1 year ago. So from a temporary thing, it became kind of permanent until whenever. And apart from that, one thing that I started doing, which was the biggest passion I have since I was young, I'm still working, but I play live music, and I'm going to promote myself now. I'm sorry, I'm going to play here tomorrow, actually. So you're all welcome. Thank you, thank you. So I didn't prepare anything. I see somebody with a Portuguese shirt over there. Are you Portuguese? Ah, god damn it. No, are you Portuguese? Austria. Austria. Where is Austria? Ah, okay. Sorry, I don't speak Austrian. You know, it's German. I mean. Survival guide. Okay. Topic number 1. Find something to do that interests you. Find the bars on Facebook, on Google, whatever, and go to the places that you really like. Right? Don't do this thing. I started having a few Bulgarian friends, but they were always taking me to Divaca and Sugar. Does everybody know what these places are? Who doesn't know? You should be glad. The other thing, I started getting along with a lot of foreigners. It was not my point. I really wanted to get along with the Bulgarians. But it was good. I created a community of friends, you know, mostly from Spain and Portugal. But everybody started leaving at some point. And only the Portuguese stayed. Whatever reason, I don't know what's happening in my country, but only the Portuguese stayed. And I wanted to live with foreigners. The first apartment I was sharing with a French and a Tunisian guy. We had a few problems with each other. We never killed each other. You know, we are still alive, 3 of us. Then an Italian guy came in to live with us, and things got complicated. Then I moved away. Scusi. And things got a bit complicated. And I moved to a flat with 2 Portuguese. Yeah. It was cool, very interesting, yeah, especially for the Bulgarian learning, which, by the way, I still don't know how to speak. And that's it. Now I live alone, really close to this bar. So little by little, you start getting used to the country. You start seeing if it's better to live with somebody or alone. And most of all, you just realize that even living with the people from your country is the worst thing ever. You know, survival guide. What should I speak about? Yeah, about the bureaucracies and stuff. For me to do the Bulgarian ID, it was easy. Because I had a Bulgarian speaker with me, which is the Mexican guy that plays guitar with me. It was very easy. I went there 3 times, and he was my Google Translate. So it was pretty quick, actually. I took like 1.5 months to have my document done. No, it was quick. I mean, it's Bulgarian. You never do it at first. He mentioned that, so it's true. But it was 1.5 months when I still have friends that since the summer they haven't done it. So, yeah. So, yeah, Bulgarian speaker with you all the time. About the hairdresser. As you see, I only cut my hair when I go back to Portugal. So yes, to avoid this kind of complications. The most complicated thing here is still, and will always be, honestly, I'm sorry, I don't want to harm anybody, but the customer service. Yes. Okay. It's terrible. It's terrible. I mean, you have places like this, which you see that there is a huge difference in the environment here with the people, the kind of events and stuff. But if you go to the traditional Bulgarian, right, where you have the traditional food, if it's in Sofia, of course, it's terrible. It's terrible. And you don't even think about leaving only 1 lev of a tip, right? If you leave less than 5, they will leave the tip on the table. This is something that amazed me because I'm not used to this, right? But if you go away from Sofia, everything changes. It's perfect. I mean, at least with my experience, you go to the middle of the mountains, you go to other cities, and people actually treat you well. Except the seaside, but, well, that's another thing. I can actually recommend a really good restaurant here. They said that I could, so I will. It's called Contessa, right? Does any... I heard, oh yeah. Yeah. Yes, it's perfect. Guys, it's perfect. Especially now in the winter, you can write this down. It's Sărmi. Sărmi. It's perfect. It's very cheap. It's in Opolchenska, in the middle of the park. And the best of all, it's open 24 hours. Right? I could recommend another one, but they decided to close to sell it to some Italians to make a pizzeria. Yeah, that's how it goes. The other things, I don't know. Let's see. So about traveling, this is the very good thing of living in Sofia. When I came here 3 years ago, it was not that different from now, but the only low-cost airline that was flying to and from Sofia was Wizz Air. And it was not so cheap back then, yeah? And there are not so many destinations. Then Ryanair kicked in. Terminal 1 from the airport became a zoo. It was like if you were not 3 hours before the flight in the airport, you wouldn't take the flight. That's basically what was happening. They decided to put all the low-cost flights in the same terminal that they cannot even stand 2 flights per hour. So it was crazy. They managed it. They changed Ryanair to Terminal 2, which is much better now. But they increased the price of the beer to be more expensive than in Berlin. So, yeah, you have the 2 sides of the coin, yeah? Anyways, it's very cheap to go everywhere. You can have weekend flights to go to Athens, to go to Berlin, to go to Barcelona. Actually, a friend of mine today just, well, one of the girls that works with me said, okay, I'm going away for the weekend. and she's going to Barcelona, and she bought the ticket today to go tomorrow to Barcelona and come back on Sunday. You know, this is the good thing of living in Sofia, eh? And even if you want to just travel to the mountains, travel to other smaller cities, to the seaside, to go to Greece. I haven't tried Romania yet, but I heard it's quite complicated because it's 7 or 8 hours away, and that's it. Niš is also very close, it's good. And then you have Macedonia as well, which is very beautiful if you don't go to Skopje, as far as I heard. Sorry. So, that is basically it. I don't know what else I should cover, if somebody wants to ask something, because I didn't prepare this speech, I'm sorry. I just came for a beer and they invited me in, you know. The other things that people get surprised with is the price of the things. In the last 3 years I saw a lot of changes. The prices increased a lot, especially for the real estate. The households became very expensive, even the restaurants or the alcohol, because this is how I measure the prices everywhere I go. It's in the cost of the beer. It increased, but it's still quite cheap. And actually, I had a few friends visiting me, just like he said. I try to convince my friends to come here, and they get extremely surprised all the time. So I agree with you, totally. And the people that were most surprised was my mother, my sister, and my brother-in-law, my family, right, about the price of the beer. I think there is something common in my family, yeah? And they were amazed. We were going everywhere, and they were like, "This costs 40 cents, man. Why aren't you drunk all the time?" And I said, "Well, yeah." And that's it. I mean, you can... it's very easy to live here, honestly, even if you don't speak Bulgarian. I'm still a bit ashamed of not speaking Bulgarian yet after 3 years, but honestly, it's quite difficult to learn. For me... Huh? I know Nazdrave, which is the best word you can have in Bulgaria, right? Because everywhere you go, people offer you drinks. So if you don't know how to say Nazdrave, you're not going to, you know... Exactly. And that's it. Yeah, that is I think the biggest challenge. And I've discussed with some other friends that don't have any kind of similar alphabet or language. It's quite difficult. I don't know why. I try, but especially with the reading, I cannot. Okay, here is my Bulgarian Mexican friend. The guy that helped me with the process. And yeah, he speaks Bulgarian after 7 years here. So, you know, it will take me a while, but I will manage it. And that's it. I don't know what else to cover. I don't know what I covered with you guys the other day, but I think it's pretty much it. So thank you very much. I hope I made you laugh. I hope I clarified a lot of stuff to you. I'm not a mountain kind of guy or something, or a hairdresser kind of guy. But yeah, that's what I have to share. Anybody has any question? Hello? Like more about the band? Like how did you start it? Yes. Hobbies, yeah, he's right. Sorry, I skipped that part. So, about the hobbies is one of the good things that you can have here, because the city center is very small and it's where all the action is. Actually, that's how it goes. But you have, for example, I love rock music and heavy metal. And I just went to Facebook and I found the bars that have all of this. I like karaoke. You just check this kind of place and you go alone and you start meeting people. People are friendly. You know, if you have the same kind of taste, you'll create some core of friends, you know. The music, it started with him. There was some guy invited me for a Linkin Park tribute in a bar for an acoustic show, but it never happened. And I talked to him about it. And once we were drinking a few beers, I think it's quite normal that I do that. And we went to some bar and we talked to the guys like, you know, we play live music. And, okay, yeah, we have some concerts. Okay, so can we have a concert here? Yeah, what do you play? We play this and that and that. Okay, come. We agreed on the price, agreed on the date, and that's it. And it started escalating. 10 months ago was when it started, and we are still going. So it's a good way actually to invite people to have an event like this, you know, to have your friends with you. They bring new people, and especially because we play mostly Spanish music. I mean, Latino, yeah, not like reggaeton, which, if you know, it's the kind of Spanish chalga. And for the people that think it's not, it is. If you like reggaeton or bachata or something, it's exactly like chalga, but in Spanish. You know, and if we play chalga, maybe people will throw us whatever, you know. Unfortunately, not beer, for sure. Or if they throw the bottles, they will be empty. But if we play reggaeton, everybody will love it. I don't understand that, why, but it's okay. And yeah, it's going well. It was a good way also for me to stay longer in Bulgaria because I was a bit confused if I should stay here or not. And things are going well, and this is also a good. It's a motivational thing to make me stay. So that's what I recommend everyone to do if you really want to live here for a long time. And the other thing is, in Bulgaria, you have to take it easy because you know, Eastern Europe, Northern Europe, everything is already organized in terms of the trash processing, the recycling. There are no stray animals, you know. And here you see a lot of this. And one thing that pisses me off every single day is the amount of food waste that you see everywhere. And this is something that really disappoints me. And in the beginning, I was very frustrated. Now I just see it, you know, I swallow it and okay, just move on, you know. This is how you survive here. And the other thing, I recommend you guys to do the walking tours because they will teach you about the culture. They will teach you about the city itself. And there are a few different tours. You just have to try. And besides, the guides are very helpful. They can advise you places to go, give you maps, sign the things on the maps. I tried it, it worked. And it's a good way to start. So, if anybody is thinking about staying here longer, I gave you reasons to stay and not to stay, I think. That's it, it's up to you. I'm still here, I wouldn't recommend you to stay, yeah, but I'm still here, so I think it's worth something. I think I covered it all, I don't know. Thanks.